Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Maverick here with episode 18 of March Comes In Like a Lion. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Hey, it's not Saturday today. What's Maverick doing uploading an episode of Sangatsu? I've decided to switch my schedule up a little bit, switch Sangatsu to Tuesday from now on, instead of on Saturday, as I have been doing for these two seasons, mainly because the schedule for this season in particular is more concentrated towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, most seasons normally are, but this season in particular, the anime that I am watching are concentrated on those days, and I want to spread out the videos a little bit. So, hedge my risks, something like that. But anyways, it's possible that I'll change it back again, but for now, from now on, it will be on Tuesday, probably to the foreseeable future till the end of this season. So, anyways, with that out of the way, what did we do last episode, right? Well, we were definitely on an uptrend. I think things are looking pretty well right now for our main protagonist, Ray. He's got back on his feet, he's slowly building up his relation with his family again. Of course, there's still lots of question marks and whatnot, but at least it's trending towards the positive, right? And that's a good thing. Now, what's really gonna get positive is when Ray starts winning again, I guess, since I think that is sort of a metaphor for him in his life as well. Maybe not, keep that in the back of my mind. And that's probably not going to happen in these next few episodes. I reckon we're going to focus more on Mr. Shimada and his match with Goto. So, in any case, let's get into the episode and see. Alrighty, so as usual, skip the opening and let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Torrent. Alright. Doesn't exactly sound like a very uplifting kind of title, but let's see. Hmm. Okay, so I guess because this is the tournament that's going a title tournament, they're going all over Japan to play, maybe. All right, here we go again. All right, now that's Ray. Think about this. Is that supposed to be a Darth Vader reference? Yeah, I definitely think so. It's a Star Wars reference. That was a quick switch up. And then they're like, we're both wrong. I choose my own path.
つく前になんとかしないと。
具体的に言えよ。これがそんなダメ筋だっていう理由をさ。
説明って、なんていうか、気持ち悪いっていうか。
気持ち悪い。
気持ち悪い？桐山てめえ、抽象的に言って天才っぽいかなとか思って適当に滑ってんじゃねえだろうな。
はっきり言えよ。言語中枢の発達促してやろうか。
Ah, shut up, you two. What did the guy think?
すまん、桐山。研究会だからな。言語化してくれ。今までは一人研究だったから、その辺すっ飛ばしてきたんだろうが。頑張って。はい、どうぞ。
まず、37の銀が残っている。っていうのがもう気持ち悪いっていうか。
で、どんな風に？
先手の7四歩の筋はもう傷になるだけじゃないのかなって。
傷？ねえよ、何言ってんの？
ああ、この点では俺もその小籠包と同じ意見だな。
小籠包。
小籠包？なんだと貴様！
外に出ろ。望むところだ。
ああ、うるさい。黙れよ、お前ら。ブツよ。
I'll smack you.
気持ち悪いか。なるほどね。
じゃあ、失礼します。
おう、次はまたスケジュール見て連絡するわ。
はい。
ああ、桐山。
はい。
お前さ、明日、空いてない？
はい。学校が終われば用事は特に。もう一度来てくれないか。今度はお前一人で。そう島田さんは言った。
Wants to play against him, in a way.
そして翌日。
よーし。悪いな、連日。
寝てないんですか？
寝た。つが気を失ってた。
Probably studying.
桐山、何飲む？
ああ、僕がやります。何がいいですか？
ああ、じゃあコーヒー熱いの。インスタントしかないけど。
はい、どうぞ。
悪いね。
This guy is definitely gonna lose more of his hair if he keeps this up.
したらもう角番だ。ストレート負けはな。それだけはな。ふるさとうんぬん言ってる場合じゃなかったな。まず2勝だ。6局目が俺のふるさとなんだ。
I guess that's sort of like how Ray approached his match with Shimada as well. You know, looking too far into the future. Not really taking it one step at a time.
雪しかない。
雪のない時は
山と川と田んぼと、何にもないな。
でも田んぼがあるなら何もなくは。
ああ、でも減反でな。その田んぼも今じゃ。つうか、こんなこと言ってもあれだな。わかんないよな。本当に何もなくなろうとしてるところだよ。人も田んぼも学校も家も。だから
聞き取れなかった。でもだからこそと言ったような気がした。
Maybe he can revitalize the town.
さあ、始
Or
め
a hometown boy getting a win there. Something like that.
これをやってくれ。昨日の局面は
Hmm. I mentioned this a little bit last episode, but I do find it interesting that Shimada is using these guys as his sort of practice partners, sparring partners, in order to study and get good. The reason for that is because of the discrepancy between their rankings. Now, I guess shogi might be a little bit different, but if this was chess, this would be something like, I don't know, a 300-400 elo difference. Like maybe the rankings and the duns between the tiers in shogi are a little bit different than that of the discrepancy in chess. I mean, well, I guess they are all pros if we look at it. Hey. Nice. So you gotta steal something back. Nice eyes. Oh wait, it's the third match already? Did I miss something? Oh?
ギリギリセーフってとこだったな。なんかみんなあさってお別れ会でネズミ
Mouse slant.
もちろん俺は誘われてないけどね。
だからなんでわざわざ知らせるんだとこの1年間何回も言ってきましたよね。これってもはやいじめの域だと思うんですよね、僕。何も変わりませんでした。出席もギリギリで、部活も入らず、順位戦も停滞して、何の成果も出せなかったけれど。でも、進級できたことは先生のおかげです。ありがとうございました。
Hmm.
よせよ。成果がなかったなんて、そんなこと言うなよ。働きながら、学校にも通って、自分で飯作って、洗濯して、ゴミとか出して、戦って、お金稼いで、家賃払って。俺が17歳の頃は、もしかしたら結構自分はすごいやつになるんじゃないかなんて、根拠のない夢とか見ながら、ゲーセン行ったり、漫画読んだり、友達と遊んだり、テレビ見たり、
Damn.
新品も貯金もしたことなかった。掃除も飯の支度も洗濯もしたことなかった。何も成果がなかったなんて言うなよ。頑張ってたよ。俺は見てたよ。
やめてほしい。この人はいつだってそうだ。
It's true though.
神経にズバズバと。ほんとやめてほしい。
He's gonna cry.
いきなりはほんと困るんだ。
なあ、まだ冷えんな。おでんでも食いに行かねえか。おごるぞ、新居以外に。
いいですよ、そんな。
んじゃ行くか、ネズミーランド。男二人で行っちゃうのか、これから。
Oh then.
いやほんとおでんで。
Just somebody to tell him he's doing a good job.
そして僕の短い春休みが始まった。獅子王戦第3局2日目。島田さん苦しい。このままでは粘り続けるしか手がないか。しかも島田さんの消費時間の方が多い。
あと1曲落としたらもう角番だ。ストレート負けはな。それだけはな。
島田さんどうかどうか。
Oh, who might it be? Kaido?
誰だ。
What? Oh.
ひなちゃん、ももちゃんも。
Oh, yeah, Ray. You didn't go meet them.
ちょっと待ってて。今何かのものを。お客さんって何を出したらいいんだ。大人ならお茶とかでいいんだろうけど、中学生と園児って何を出したらいいんだ。
Milk seems fine.
あの
Yeah, milk.
お重箱ありがとう。美味しかったです。桐山くんちゃんと食べた？食べたよ。かろうじて2個は。わさびのが美味しかった。そっか、よかった。お姉ちゃんと2人で作ったんだ。おひな祭りに作って美味しかったからレイちゃんに持って。わさび味のはおじいちゃんが好きだから入れてみたんだ。
Okay, she's gonna ask the question.
で、こないだのあの人誰？そのこないだのレイちゃん大丈夫かなって。
But was that something to like spit water over? Or milk?
大丈夫なのかなって。魔女なの？本当に魔女ならこんな情けない苦労してない。
She's my sister.
違う。違うよ。魔女なんかじゃない。彼女は僕の姉さんだよ。お姉さん？そうだよ。兄弟だもの。喧嘩だってするよ。でも大丈夫。兄弟だもの。ももちゃんちもそうでしょ。そういえば、あかり
Huh. Man.
お姉ちゃんあの人ねレイちゃんのお姉さんだった。よかったよかった。心配して損しちゃった。
And why were you worried?
なんだよ。もう。そうなんだ。ふーん。いや、そっちの方がまずいってば。
What?
ここ最高。
That's probably worse? Or what?
よし、リスポケ先生見ようっと。お腹が空いたんです。教えて。
I mean, I've seen plenty of siblings, even in my life, who have some rather harsh words with each other. Wait, what now? Okay. What is that guy think?
うん。
Although now, 18 episodes in, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Lost?
そして5時になり、街中に遠く懐かしい曲が流れ、僕は今日初めてその曲がふるさとだと気がついた。
Definitely way too early for a fairy tale kind of ending, huh? Okay, quite the interesting episode this time. I like how the sister showed up in the end. See you guys after this. Alrighty. 3 things I want to talk about from this episode, so let's dive right into them. The first one is actually from the very beginning, where Shimada was basically inviting Rei to help him and basically hone his own games in preparation for the big match, right? Or the big matches. Apparently, he already lost 2 in a row, and now this is 3 straight. I don't quite know where he lost the second one. I assume it happened sometime between this episode and the last one, and perhaps it was mentioned. I was just not paying enough attention. But anyways, so I probably did ask this question out loud, and I probably asked this even before this as well, and that is, I don't really see how Shimada is going to improve with these other players that are just too far from his level of playing. Let's put it this way. Like, yeah, it's not like putting them down or anything. It's just that my direct instinct is to say, hey, it's basically like, how can a college student really learn much by studying with, say for instance, middle school students, right, or elementary school students? So that was the angle that I was going for. But then I realized, and it's quite funny because the instant that I had that thought, the anime actually showed it for me. They are professionals. However they may be tiered or whatnot with the 1 to with the, well, in their case 4 to 9 dan, and also with the C2 to A rank sort of ranking system. Even though it seems that there's a lot of tiers between them, at the end of the day, they are all professionals, and in order to be a professional, you already have to be like at the top of your game in order to be in that environment, right? So I feel like maybe I have a sort of bias just because they made so many tiers within their professional ranking that I just feel like it's a C2 versus an A rank. I really feel like the discrepancy there is a little bit is quite big. Let's just say. But I was actually really interested in this, so I went through the trouble of looking it up. Even though Shogi doesn't really use an ELO system, there are unofficial ELO rankings, ratings that are maintained by fans and whatnot, and I did manage to find one. It's in Japanese, but it's quite interesting. So because I was really curious, like how relevant is actually a player at the level of C2, rank of C2, versus someone in rank A, right? So I went in there and checked, and I found I found a C2 rank who was also for Fordan, which was coincidentally also the highest ranked C2 in there, and then I also found the lowest ranked A ranked player. And the ELO difference between them was about 100. So it was about 1660 versus 1760, something like that. About 100 ELO difference. So what does that mean for those of you who maybe don't really play chess, play Go, or play online games that such as League of Legends, which use matchmaking systems? It's the calculation is kind of hard to do on the fly. You probably need a calculator, but basically 100 elo roughly works out to having a 35-65 split between the two players if they were to play heads up against each other. So that means that if Rei and Shimada were to play 100 games against each other, Rei would win maybe 35, whereas Shimada would win 65. About, it's not an exact science here, but that's about what should be expected here. And so that's actually not as bad as I was thinking, right? So in this sense, you can really see, yeah, they actually do stand a chance against these top players, and even though they're still going to lose most of the time, they win enough to actually have valuable input for them to actually hone their craft. So, I guess I learned something here today as well, and hopefully you guys did as well, because it is actually kind of interesting. The second thing I want to go talk about is, I guess, the sensei, right? But, I mean, I feel like I've talked about him so many times before. He really is the sensei in this show so far, right? He is definitely the wise old man, wise teacher who has tons of life lessons for you. Like, I love it. I think this is like the third or fourth time I've mentioned this already. Not only is he very caring about this student, and particularly knowing that he is a special case and he can't just use normal rules and guidance to help him, but he's actually giving really, really valuable life lessons as well. Honestly, I feel for me at this point in my life, I've already been through that, right? But I gotta say, a lot of them actually do hit home because again, those are sort of life lessons that I didn't really learn. I learned it by experience, and if a teacher in life actually taught me these kinds of things or said those things to me, I feel like I would have saved myself a lot of trouble. I think the one from last episode was in regards to, how to form a relationship, right? You need to actually depend on each other, and that is how you get other people to open their hearts to you as well. It can't just be a one-sided relationship, even though you might be thinking, hey, I'm doing my best not to trouble anyone. In reality, that's actually pushing someone away. In this episode, it's the concept of, hey, he's doing his best, right? Even though you say that you didn't accomplish anything, at least you tried. Versus the case of someone who did not try, who procrastinated, so on and so forth. Well, in a sense, I guess I don't really know if someone had said that to me while I was young, whether or not I would pay any attention to that. But I guess it is something that once you get more years under you, you start to wise up and think, hey, that is absolutely true. So, I love the teacher. He is absolutely one of the best characters for me, at least in terms of what he's actually saying and the things that he is doing, basically. So, just want to give a quick shout out to him again. As for the last part, really talking a little bit about Kyouko, right? Because what a big difference here. I mentioned in the last episode how really we're getting this entirely different perception now, right? We're getting this perception where, hey, even though our initial impressions of the family, of Kyouko, of the father, wasn't really all that good, gradually they're making them seem more human. We're starting to see more and more of the interactions between them and Rei, and particularly in this episode, starting from last episode, we already get some of that, sibling rivalry, sibling fighting, nothing too serious, right? And instead of Kyouko just being all, basically a cold bitch all the time, she's actually, even though she is still very annoying to Rei, it's more of the sibling kind of annoying, right? And even here as well, Rei is sticking up for her, and we can see that in a certain flashback, we can see Kyouko actually helping Rei out as well. So I love that. I guess they, after going through all that drama, they're starting to maybe put her in a better light as well. Or maybe, like I said in the last episode, this might just be a result of Rei's own emotions and whatnot taking a turn for the better, and that's why he's able to remember and bring out these good memories instead of just negative emotions all the time. So there we go. That's basically the 3 points I want to make for this episode. I'll link the ELO rating, the unofficial ELO ranking for you guys. I mean, I'm a guy who likes data. I like to look at this kind of stuff, so it's quite interesting to me to dig down and do this kind of research. But if any of you guys are interested, I'll link it below. It is in Japanese, but I mean, it has numbers, it has people. You can Google Translate or whatnot. It should be fairly simple to see what's actually telling you and to use it. So, anyways, that's it for this episode. Again, from next episode on, it will be dropping on Tuesdays instead, so no episode for this Saturday. So, I hope I'll see you guys next week, and until then, bye-bye.